What is up, guys? Wats here, also known as Josh here, for Wats Sports Hawaii here today. And I'm so sorry for the long hiatus here. I took like a month hiatus, maybe even more, because I was so busy because it's summer, of course. But now I'm back here hosting the show that I love to do, and I'll be also keeping up with my magic channel, Magic Wats. I'll post a link for you guys to check out my magic channel and all that. But let's not get too far into that. Let's get into Hawaii sports. Alright guys, we're going to start off with the main stories here this past week, and we'll start it off in the octagon here, as UFC featherweight champion Max Holloway spoke out for the first time after being put out of UFC 226, where Max Holloway was supposed to defend his title against Brian T. City Ortega, but Holloway was pulled out after receiving concussion-like symptoms. In his interview, he said that he was totally fine and feels good right now, and he is very confident that he'll return to the octagon soon as well. The last time Max Holloway got into the octagon was when he defended his UFC title against Jose Aldo. The University of Hawaii, the football team, just went to the Mountain West Conference Media Day held in Las Vegas. From there, Hawaii was picked to finish number 5 in the division. Others to be recognized was Boise State trying to finish on top of the Mountain Division, and Fresno State in the West Division, as they were respectively picked to finish atop of their division. Hawaii also revealed their new look as well, as they will wear their new black uniforms. This will be the first time that they will be wearing these black uniforms since the June Jones era. According to most players on the team, they are very excited that they'll be wearing the uniforms of when Hawaii was in their heyday, with guys like June Jones, Hope Brennan, Timmy Chang, and many more. Another thing to be looking for in Hawaii football is the quarterback competition for this year. Corey McDonald has been taking reps over Chevin Cordero and Jerry Musa, who are incoming freshmen for this year. Hawaii kicks off their season August 25th at Colorado State. And the funny thing about Media Day for Hawaii once again is that Nick Rolovich brought a Britney Spears impersonator to Media Day. Yes, a Britney Spears impersonator. I didn't know they had that in Las Vegas. But for those of you who don't remember, last year at Media Day, Nick Rolovich brought an Elvis impersonator to Media Day. Boy, Nick Rolovich is trying to put on a show in Vegas. The University of Central Florida has opened a Heisman Trophy campaign for their quarterback, Mackenzie Milton. Mackenzie Milton, a 2016 Milline alumnus, just led the University of Central Florida to their first ever national title and a win at the Peach Bowl over Auburn. This includes a perfect 13-0 record. Mackenzie Milton last year finished 8th in the Heisman Trophy voting and is one of the top college players to return. Last year, his highlights were 179.3 passing efficiency, 613 yards of rushing, 37 passing touchdowns, 4,650 total yards, and 10.2 yards per pass. yards per pass. And those were all school records. Mackenzie Milton is one of the Heisman Trophy front runners and will open his season next month. And the final story for our main stories on today's show is that high school football is about to get started. Ooh! I can't wait for that. The first games will be on August 3rd, which is Friday. This Friday, yes. And that's actually in 2 days. Yes, I repeat, 2 days away. Alright guys, so now we're on to our next segment of the show, and that is the rankings here. And we're going to be going over with the rankings for the top 15 Hawaii high school football teams. So each week I'll be doing this segment here until the final games are played, which is the state championships. And yeah, we'll see how it goes, and I'm super excited to be doing this as well because I just love high school football to the bottom of my heart. That's why, and to see what the kids do and the coaches is just unbelievable. Yes, I mean, it's gonna be a great season too. But now enough of the chit chat. Let's get in to the rankings. So we're gonna start from 15 and go all the way down to 1 here. But first, before we go to 15, we're gonna go into the others to be noticed. And so these are basically the teams that just missed the top 15, but I still feel like they should be recognized because they are still great teams and they could still do damage this year. Alright. So others to be noticed is Maui High. Maui coming off of an MIL Division 1 football championship last year, but lost to Hilo in the state tournament. Then we also have Kauai, the defending KIF football champions. They also made it to the state tournament but lost to Damien en route. Also we have is Iolani. Iolani in Division 2 this year. They will be going. They'll still be in Division 2, but they are still real decent with Coach Wendell at the helm. And yeah, watch out for Iolani in Division 2. But also in Division 2 as well is St. Francis. St. Francis took Damien to the breaking point in the ILH Division 2 championship game. And we're probably seconds, maybe even minutes, and a few plays away from going on to the state tournament. And our final team to be noticed is Kailua. Kailua coming off a decent season last year, even though they may have lost a few seniors here and there. They'll be ready for this season, as they'll be ready with Coach Haoli Wong, and the boys in Kailua will be ready for Division 1 play this year. Alright guys, so we're gonna go to number 15 in our rankings. At number 15 we have the Waipahu Marauders. Waipahu last year won the OIA Division 2 championship but lost to Konawana in the Division 2 semis. But Waipahu will be led by head coach Bryson Carvalho and star running back Alfred Failonga. As Waipahu is the number 15 team in my rankings. Next up we have Lahaina Luna, the two-time defending state champs on Maui. As last year they took home their second straight co-head in a row as they beat Konawana last year in a 7 overtime thriller, 75-69. But Lahaina Luna will be led by head coach Garrett Tejada, and the boys in Lahaina will be ready to try and three-peat in Division 2. Lahaina Luna, number 14. And at number 13 in my rankings, we have Damien. Damien last year was the state runner-ups in Division 1 last year, but also won the ILH Division 2 championship last year. They are led by head coach Eddie Kalensky, as the boys at Damien schools will be looking to bring home their first ever state football championship in school history. At number 13, Damien. At number 12, we have the defending state champs on the Big Island, the Hilo Vikings. The Hilo Vikings coming off one of their best seasons last year, as they took home the Division 1 state title and became the first ever Big Island team to do that as so. Hilo will be opening their season on Oahu at Campbell. At number 12, the Hilo Vikings. At number 11, in here we have the Moanalua na Menehune. Moanalua last year got off to a slow start last year, but they finally found their groove at the end of the season before losing in the quarterfinals to Mililani. Moanalua will bring back their quarterback, a couple slots, and a few key defensive players on their roster for this year. Moanalua in the OIA Division 1 side will open their season at Castle. Alright guys, we are now in the top 10 of my rankings. Now, let's go to number 10. At number 10, we have the Lelehua Mules. Lelehua last year got off to a slow start, barely beat St. Francis, lost to Kahuku, lost to Mililani, but then they hit the spark at Kapolei, and after that they just took off. I mean, they went to have the bye, but hit a roadblock at home against Campbell in the OIA quarterfinals last year. But under head coach Mark Karisu, they'll return star quarterback Max Nichols and a few other offensive weapons, as the Mules will be looking to be a high-power offense, as Mark Karisu will be leading the defense to hopefully the first ever state championship in Wahiawa and California Avenue for the first time since 2007. Next up at number 9, we have the Farrington Governors. Last year, the Farrington Governors were so-so last year under head coach Randall Okimoto, but now during the off-season, Randall Okimoto kind of resigned/retired as head coach, and now the Governors will be led by their new head coach Daniel Sanchez. Last year, Farrington lost to Waianae last year in the OIA quarterfinals and will be playing in the Open Division. Farrington opens their season at Lelehua. At number 8 in my rankings, we have Waianae. Yes, the boys on the west side here taking the number 8 spot here under head coach Walter Young. They'll be opening their season at Waipahu, but don't sleep on Waianae at number 8, because the boys on the west side will try to prove the doubters wrong. At number 8, the Waianae Sea Riders. At number 7, we have the Campbell Sabres. Last year, Campbell was an overtime period away from going to the state tournament, but lost to Waianae last year in that one-game playoff. Campbell will be having 2 quarterbacks this year, and will be led by head coach Darren Johnson. Campbell will in the off season is stacked with many transfers first and now as Darren Johnson will be taking over at Campbell for a second season. At number 7, the Campbell Sabres. And at number 6 in my rankings, we have the Kapolei Hurricanes. Led under head coach Darren Hernandez, coming off of a very disappointing season last year. This year, the Kapolei Hurricanes will be looking to rebound from last year as they have offensive lineman Julius Bulow to lead the team, and the Kapolei Hurricanes will try to look to make the Storm a mega storm this year in the Open Division. At number 6, the Kapolei Hurricanes. And now we are in our top 5 for my rankings in Hawaii high school football. So here we go. The number 5 team in my rankings is the Kamehameha Warriors. The Kamehameha Warriors, led by head coach Abu Ma'afala, in his 3rd season at the helm, will be looking to bring home an ILH title to the hills where Kamehameha School stands. Kamehameha looking to bring home the state title for the first time since 2010. At number 5 in my rankings, the Kamehameha Warriors. At number 4 in my rankings, we have the Mililani Trojans. Mililani last year won 10 games in a row before going on a 2-game losing streak where they lost to Kahuku in the Oi Championship game and to St. Louis in the semifinals of the state tournament. They'll bring back starting quarterback Dylan Gabriel and many more players who can play the game of football like no other, and will be led by head coach Rod York. Milline will start their season on Saturday, August 4th, a home game against Kailua. As at number 4, the Mililani Trojans. At number 3 in my rankings, we have the Punahou Buff in Blue. The Punahou Buff in Blue, led by head coach Kale Ane, will look to redeem this year in the Open Division. Last year they lost to Kamehameha in the ILH semifinals, and will hope to bring home the first state title in Punahou history for the first time since 2013, where they were led by Larry Tuileta as quarterback back then. But now with players saying that they are more bind together, they are hoping to do that as well. And that is to bring home a Koa head to Punahou. At number 3, the Punahou Buff and Blue. At number 2, we have none other than the pride of the North Shore, the Kahuku Red Raiders. Last year, Kahuku lost to St. Louis in the state finals last year, but now will be looking very different though, as they are now led by first-year head coach Sterling Carvalho, and just lost starting quarterback Soji Maiava to transfer. But now, new quarterback Thornton Lapa and Mickey Ayu, a linebacker on defense, will look to lead the Red Raiders to their first state crown since 2012. At number 2, the Kahuku Red Raiders. And finally, at number 1, who will I put at number 1? At number 1, no else than the St. Louis Crusaders. The St. Louis Crusaders, led by head coach Cal Lee, will be looking to defend their ILH title and their Open Division state title as well. Last year they were led by Chevron Cordero, but now has graduated. But now they'll be led by Del Lauro at quarterback, as St. Louis will look to defend Kalai Pohaku and to continue their winning streak and to hopefully expand it to more than I believe it was like 15 or something like that. And they also opened in the nation at the number 12th team in the nation. At number 1 in my rankings, the St. Louis Crusaders. And that is it for the segment, the rankings here on my show here for today. Alright guys, so now we're in our next segment here, the last minute drill. You guys know what it's about. I have 1 minute to talk about the top stories here or questions that I'll be answering here on my show here. So let's get into it right now. Starting the clock right now. And we're starting the clock right now. And now, our first one is, what is next for Max Holloway in my opinion? To be honest, Max Holloway here is, I feel like he will fight again in the featherweight division, but according to Dana White, he wants him to move up in the weight division. That will be one more up to, I believe it will be like lightweight. But I still say that Max Holloway can still fight, even though of his health issues and all that. And to be honest, he's ready. I mean, he hasn't fought in quite a while. I believe it's been like a year or so, maybe even more. But yeah, but if Max Holloway has to go up a division, then so be it, because he's gonna say the same things and he's gonna try turn that division as well into Bless Era. I mean, that's what he does, and that's who he is, Max Holloway. Alright guys, so now the next question is, does Mackenzie Milton have a chance at winning the Heisman? I gotta say is, yes he does, but there's a quote that I remember from Ravens head coach Bill Belichick when he coached the 2000 Baltimore Ravens team, and that's that basically you can have the best offense in the nation, but if you don't win games, then you're not going to be as successful. And that's what it is basically for UCF, okay? Mackenzie Milton, he can put up, he can put up 500 yards passing, another 100 yards rushing, and a total of 11 touchdowns. But if he loses the game 80-77, then there's no way he's going to win the Heisman, okay? But to be honest, I have faith that UCF will try to defend the national title and to extend their win streak and to probably be in the college football playoffs. I mean, there's no that they'll be in it. But again, there's so much pressure though, because Mackenzie Milton, yes, Heisman Trophy, he's on so many awards watch lists, and I mean, and also UCF is a heavy favorite to win their conference division as well. I mean, heavy favorite. So, I mean, hopefully the boys down in Central Florida are ready to take on that challenge. Alright, and so now the next one will be the University of Hawaii football team, the quarterback situation, which would be my thoughts. So, my thoughts on that. To be honest, I say that, as much as I want Chevin Cordero to start, or even Jeremy Musa to start QB, Corey McDonald, he has experience at UH and so that. But I mean, if it doesn't work with Corey McDonald for like the first few games, I say you gotta put in either Chevin Cordero or Jeremy. I mean, let's face it, Hawaii needs to win, okay, and Nick Rovich knows that he has to win as well. So I mean that's what probably is what's going to happen. They're going to start with Corey McDonald, see how he does. But if he doesn't play as good or as well as Rovich would have thought, then you gotta go with Cordero or Musa. Alright, and then the next one, we're still on UH football here, and that is my thoughts on Nick Rovich trying to get attention. So I don't know what in the world Nick Rovich is doing on trying to get attention, by bringing impersonators like Britney Spears and Elvis. No disrespect to him or to his antics like that, but to be honest, he should just not just knock it off already, in my opinion. You know, you can get as much media attention as you want, but if your team is not winning, okay, then I don't know then, you know, because that's what you're there for, to win for your team, to lead your team to a winning season, to lead your team to a bowl game, leading your team to a national championship. Nick Rolovich, what are you doing, brother? You gotta get, I don't know what you gotta do, but in the name of the game, you gotta win, man. That's all I gotta say. I mean, and if you think that's gonna bring in recruits, then you gotta think of another way to bring some recruits in, man. I mean, come on. All right, and the final question here for my last minute drill is my thoughts on Hawaii high school football this year. I mean, I can't wait for Hawaii high school football this year. It's going to be so exciting with the alliance of the OIA and the ILH, something that many people wanted to see for years and years, and now we're going to get to see it. And let me tell you, there's a game, a huge game every week, and it's going to be interesting to see not only like who wins like that, but who loses out. Okay, to me that's more, I mean, I would love to see winning, but now with this alliance and all that, I like to see who loses out. And what I mean by that is that, you know, someone's probably gonna go 0-10, 0-1-8, 1-9, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting. I can't wait for this season to get started, and we'll just see what happens, you know. I mean, it's going to be super exciting this year. Can't wait to see the teams like St. Louis, Kahuku, Mililani, Punahou, and the outer island teams, you know, taking on the season this year, and you know, we'll see how it goes, you know. Alright guys, so now usually I do this at the end of my show here, but this year I'm gonna do a little different here, and that's going to the segment Let's Heckle. Alright, so for this show I want to heckle KHON2 Sports Director Rob DeMello. Because last week Rob DeMello received the Employer Support of the Guard and Reserves Patriot Award, which recognizes supervisors and bosses for their support for an employee serving in the National Guard or Reserve. He was nominated by his employee and sports reporter Evan Santiago, and Evan Santiago is in the National Guard as we speak, and is back home in Hawaii, and is of course doing his sports reporting for KHON2 on Scoring Live. I mean, unbelievable job, you guys. I really appreciate and admire your work. I mean, it's so far beyond, and for you guys, and you guys just don't understand it. I'll put sorry, before I get into that, for those of you who don't know, Rob DeMello holds his own high school football show called Cover 2. Yes, Cover 2, as I just said it. As he hosts on his news channel, and it's very amazing to see that to see all the stories and his thoughts on high school football and all that. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'll leave a link in the description for a few of my favorite videos of Cover 2, because I mean, and it's amazing what he does. That he and his people do for high school football. I mean, it goes far beyond of what many others do. And I thank you Rob, for everything you do, and thank you Avon for serving our country in the National Guard too. Alright, and now we're on to my favorite segment for today's show, and that is Pick'em. So now, when I do this show now, now on a weekly basis now. I'm gonna be doing in the segment called Pick'em, and that's when I get the top 10 high school football games of the week, and I get to choose the winner of each 10 games, and the final game I get to choose is the game of the week. And so enough of the chit chat. Let's get into Pick'em. So our first game I'll be talking about here is on Friday, August 3rd. Will be IAEA at Kaiser. Now, last year Kaiser had to forfeit pretty much every game except that one game against Campbell. I mean, but now they have like 50 players this year, which is great. I mean, with their new head coach and everything, you know, they're going to be trying to knock off IAEA, and IAEA will be looking to knock off Kaiser because they want the momentum to go into the season, as IAEA's in Division 1 and Kaiser's in D2 here. And for this game here, I'm gonna go with IAEA here. You know, just because they have the boys there in IAEA, and yeah, and Kaiser will sadly have to start the season on 1 with their new team. All right, now we're gonna go to the next game here, which is also on Friday as well. Castle at Kapolei. You know, Castle here. I mean, you know, they've been struggling here and there, and then Kapolei too. You know, they've been struggling, I mean, as well. And as I see my dog walk across, but anyway, I mean, it's going to be tough, you know, this year. And as I look at, you know, Kapolei and what they have done, you know, a 5-5 record here, and Darren Hernandez, you know, they're going to try to look to come back as well. And then for Castle, you know, with John Howe in his second season at head coach at Castle, I mean, you know, it's going to be interesting to see, and it's going to be a huge game for both teams. You know, see what they can do, not as two different division levels. I'm going to have to go with Kapolei because of the talent they have, and they're going to be returning Isaiah Hana and many more others on that team to watch out for. And also on Friday as well, we have Waianae at Waipahu. Waianae in the open division, and Waipahu in Division 1. Waipahu last year the OI Division 2 champs, and now they're up to Division 1, as I said before. You know, to be honest, at best, you know, it's going to be a close game, in my opinion. You know, because Waianae being the running team, trying to run it down your throat, and Waipahu, you know, they may have lost a few stars here and there, but Waipahu, you know, they've been having good stretches, especially in the off season. You know, and I hope that especially for Waipahu, that it could be a stretch here, but I'm gonna have to go with Waianae though. I mean, with the dub, but because I mean, they have kids that just play to the last second, and I mean, and they have the big boys too. I mean, you know, the 6'4", 300-pounders on the line. You know, I mean, yeah, it's going, and just like how Walter Young has been running the Waianae offense the past like 3 seasons. You know, with the run game. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what both teams can do, but I say Waianae gets the dub though on Friday. Now we're going to go into the Saturday games now, as Iolani will take on Kalani at Kaiser Stadium. You know, battle of the Lanis there. Not just joking, but be on the positive side of things here, on the serious side of things here. Iolani with Coach Wendell and Kalani, you know, they're both in Division 2. I mean, you know, I gotta go with Iolani on this one because on the boys they have, and just because like they not so much. I'm not blaming them of them recruiting or whatever, but I mean I just know that for Ilani and and Coach Wendell coaches them, I mean it's that's Ilani for you, and they're gonna come out pretty strong in Division 2 in my opinion, and I say that they beat Kalani in the first week. All right, now we're gonna go on to St. Francis taking on Radford, and last year St. Francis losing to Damien in the ILH Division 2 championship game, and Radford losing in the first round of the OIA playoffs. Radford in D1, St. Francis in D2 this year. Should be an interesting game at Radford. But I gotta go at St. Francis with the dub here. They're pulling off a small kind of upset. I mean, because St. Francis, they're going to be hungry and they're going to try to look to knock off whoever they're playing in their each week. They're going to try to take home an ILH championship and even the state title. Alright, the next one will be Konawaina coming up to Oahu, and they'll be going to the North Shore to play Kahuku. Now, last year, Konawaina coming off of a runner-up finish at the state tournament, losing to Lahaina Luna last year in a 7 overtime thriller. Yes, they lost their quarterback Ewing and all that, but I say they will have a great year in the BIIF, and they should be repeating as the BIIF football D2 champions. But I mean, again, who are they playing this week? Kahuku. I mean, Kahuku. They're going to have again. They have the boys. Like the offensive lineman Vin Mahi, Mickey Ayu at linebacker, Thornton Alapa at quarterback this year. Even though they don't have Soji Mayava, I still see Kuku as a formidable foe here in the open division, and I gotta say, Kahuku a 6 touchdown win over Konawaina on the North Shore. All right, and the next game is Kailua taking on Mililani here, as Coach Joe Haoli Wong here will be looking to go ahead here, and they'll be trying to knock off Mililani, but as I look at the newspaper here at what Kailua has, as you can see here, I mean, it's going to be a challenge, because Mililani, they only lost 3 seniors on each side of the ball, okay, and they're still returning Dylan Gabriel. Cliffy Malapei is going to be unbelievable, and even have Ryan Chang out there. I mean, it's gonna be unbelievable to watch Mililani as well. But for Kailua too, they're one of the top teams in Division 1. But I gotta go with Mililani 5 touchdown win over Kailua though this week. And now we're gonna go on to to our last few games here, and that'll be Hilo at Campbell. Now, Hilo, last time they came out Oahu, they won the Division 1 state championship over Damien last year in November, and they're going to be going to a tough rugged place, I should say, in Eva Beach, and I'm gonna have to take Campbell in this game. I want to say at the most 4 touchdowns, but if not, it should be closer than 4 touchdowns, But it's going to be interesting to see what Campbell can do. They've been talking about getting transfers, and Therese Tafai is supposed to have a great year and all that, and Poaki Atkins, who has an offer from UH, and he's only a junior this year. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do in the open division. Um, sorry as a truck goes by. But as I collect my thoughts here, though, you know, let's see what Campbell can do this year. You know, they've been talking a lot about getting all these transfers and all that, like I said before. But you know, let's see it though. You know, but for this week though, Campbell at the max 4 touchdown win over Hilo at home. And now we're gonna go on to the next game here. Lahaina Luna, the 2-time reigning and defending state champions, D2 state champions, taking on Kapaha in Fadina Stadium in Kauai. You know, to be honest, I like these matchups here in Division 2, especially when it involves Outer Islands taking on another Outer Island team. And this is a perfect example of this. You know, Lahaina Luna taking on Kapaha. To be honest, it's getting to be It's getting to be classics. You know, especially in Division 2. You know, Lahaina Luna led by head coach Garrett Tejada. I mean, they're going to be looking for a 3rd straight ring. You know, and you know, with their run game and all that, it's going to be great. You know, but now they're going to be going to Kapa'a here, and you know, for Kapa'a, you know, they won 2 of the last 3 KIF championships, but last year they didn't win as Kauai took it home last year, and they got to go and Kauai got to go to the state tournament. You know, but and I like Kapa'a's offense too, a spread formation, you know, attack, you know, basically a run and shoot offense, and you know, and to be honest, I have Kapa'a winning the KIF 2 as well for this year, followed by Kauai and Waimea. But for this week, I gotta go with Lahaina Luna. Being too much for Kapa'a, the running game is going to be honest, I think it's going to be kind of open for them, and they're just going to grind down Kapa'a as well. You know, it's a tough, you know, not too many teams, you know, in the state of Hawaii, you know, they can stop a running attack like Lahaina Luna's, you know. So I gotta say Lahaina Luna this week over Kapa'a in Kauai. Alright guys, and our final segment for today's show on the Wats Sports Hawaii show here today is going to be my favorite segment for high school football, and that's going to be the game of the week. And this week, the game of the week is Farrington at Lelehua on Friday, August 3rd. Kickoff set for 7:30 p.m. and it will be televised on OC16 on channel 16 as well. Can't wait to see guys like Felipe Ohostra there and the OC16 gang in Wahiwa, as the Farrington Governors will be taking on the Mules there. You know, and to be honest, this is a great first game. You know, a great first game of the week game, you know, because, you know, so many storylines in this game, okay? Like, on the Farrington side, you know, they lost so many seniors last year, but on top of that, they lost head coach Randall Okimoto last year, and now they'll be led by new head coach Daniel Sanchez, and this will be his first game as Farrington head coach. You know, so that's going to be a storyline on the Farrington side, and on the storyline on the other side is Lelehua. I mean, okay, Lelehua, you know, to be honest, they, you know, in my opinion and to many people's minds, is that they are the favorites to win the whole thing. Okay, they're expected to win the OIA D1 title and even the state title. Okay, and I mean. And that's a lot of pressure in my opinion, you know, because neither team has played one snap, and you know, we're already deciding who's gonna win the state championship already, okay? But and again, with having on the Lower side, having Mark Harisu, an extraordinary defensive coach, and they'll be led by quarterback Max Nichols, and Max Nichols will have several weapons as well on offense. It's going to be amazing to watch Lillahua as they play their season in Division One. I'm so excited for the high school football season. So now we're going to go into the keys, into what I think about for the game here. And so, to be honest, the first key for this game here is that it's going to be determined whether or not Max Nichols can move the ball against the Farrington defense. Because last season, Max Nichols, yes, he showed, some good, what's the word I'm looking for, like, some good things, about him, his presence in the pocket, his throwing, and all that. But if you're not executing on offense, then you're not going to score any points. So, to be honest, that's the key, the main key for that game, and that's going to be Max Nichols trying to produce for the Lillahua offense. And another key that I want to mention too is that, is just being like, for guys like Farrington and Lillahua, is that just trying to be settled in. First game of the season, everybody is so excited, the hype is there and everything, but it's going to be about who can settle in to the game and into their seat. For this week's game, as I look at my dog. Sorry guys. Leah. Okay. But yeah. And it's going to be interesting because last year, when these two teams met, they met they met in the regular season, but there's much more at stake though last year than this year. With having the first round bye at stake, which Lillahua won that game pretty easily. But it's going to be a fun game to watch, and can't wait to see what each teams have to play. But now here we go. Gotta choose a team, folks. What do I want? Who's gonna win this game? Well, as I said in the keys before, Max Nichols trying to produce on offense, is gonna be a key. Okay? And let me tell you, the Farrington defense is good. They're decent. But, I've been getting this feeling about, especially for our governor race, and for those of you who don't know, who don't live in Hawaii and all that, but we're holding our race for governor, and I don't have the right to vote yet. Let's put it that way, but for my opinion, I just don't feel good about our governors. That's why, give me this color right here. Let's go! Lillahua on top. Yep, let's go. Mules over the governors because our governors suck. That's why. And look at this. I got the green shirt. And look at this. M&M's, bruh. Chill. Let me sample some of this. Here, have some too. Yeah. Hope you guys go get that. And there goes my book, and my stand there. But hey, you guys, I hope you guys have a great week. And to all the Hawaii high school football teams out there, good luck to you guys' season. Good luck this week and your future weeks as well. And I wish that you guys have the best season as possible. And I just hope that that everyone stays safe and all that. And yeah, And so yeah, I'll be putting many links for Hawaii High School football for you guys to track and all that. Like Scoring Live, Hawaii Prep World, and much more to come. And yeah, alright guys, and so now to sign off here. So since you know, because I was on a hiatus for longer than a month, I was thinking about other ways to sign off here, and so I'm gonna go local style here, and that is pretty much lick 'em, false 'em, and shoots. Okay, and so for those of you who don't know, you know, lick 'em's like, you know, beat 'em up and all that. I mean, yeah, lick 'em's beat 'em up and all that when you fight, you know, and then false 'em was like, you know, just like a false punch, like wow, you know, and then shoots is just okay, shoots, you know, and all that. But yeah, but before I sign off, go hit that subscribe button. Then it should be somewhere around here. If not, go hit that subscribe button down below and lick that notification bell as well. I mean, lick that notification bell till it's in a powder, or when your mouse gets or your click or whatever gets is broken. And yeah, but other than that, but I'll see you guys later. Lick 'em, false 'em, and shoots.